Now, I'm sure y'all are all aware of who the guy in the middle is. That is none other than Colin Kaepernick. I have not done a video addressing Colin Kaepernick since that settlement back in February. But it's a reason why I'm using this image in particular and why he has this confused look on his face. But I'm sure it's just a candid image. And by the way, shout out to him for wearing that shirt that has Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X on it. But you may not be too familiar with the two guys that are on the opposite sides of him. On the left is Nick Bosa, and on the right is Richie Incognito. Now, it, to me, doesn't matter which one is more problematic than the other. Both of them are an issue, but I think Richie Incognito is an issue, so we're going to start with Nick Bosa first. Nick Bosa was the #2 draft pick this year for the NFL. And he got, as you can see, he got drafted to the San Francisco 49ers, which was the team that Colin Kaepernick was on before the whole incident, you know, with the whole protesting and the kneeling during the anthem and everything like that. Well, Nick Bosa has pretty much let it be known that he is an overt Trump supporter. Like, he is a staunch Donald Trump supporter. And he also has displayed his disdain toward Colin Kaepernick. And like I said, the internet is always winning. The internet is always winning because it is undefeated. Because they managed to get a hold of some tweets that Nick Bosa had put out talking about how he supported Trump, this, that, and the third. So what? You support Trump. But he also made some tweets bashing Colin Kaepernick, and how ironic he gets drafted to the same team that Colin Kaepernick ended up getting released from, in which that would be the last NFL team he would ever play for. And I meant to do a video about it, but I'll talk about it right now. Like I said, Nick Bosa was the #2 draft pick. The #1 draft pick was a black guy. Do you care to guess who Donald Trump decided to tweet in support of? You guessed it. Nick Bosa. He tweeted in support and congratulated the #2 draft pick and did not congratulate the #1. Maybe it's because he said he was a Trump supporter, and Donald Trump pretty much alluded to that in his tweet. He let it be known that Nick Bosa was a Trump supporter, and he was so glad that he was a supporter of him and whatnot. Nat takes care of Nick Bosa, but we're going to come back to him because it's all going to come together. Now let's get to the big problem, and I do mean big, because Richie Incognito is like a Subway 6-inch, not 6, a $5 foot long away from exploding. Like, he doesn't look like how he does in this picture right now. He's way bigger now. Now, Richie Incognito is a person that they have taken chance after chance after chance after chance. I could say it about 100 more times, and I don't even think that'll be enough, after chance, on this guy, after he has screwed up so many times in his career, more so off the field. Let me run down some of the things he has been in trouble for. It says, since Incognito last played in the NFL, he has picked a public fight with the Minnesota Vikings after they denied interest in signing him. Had a meltdown at a gym, which resulted in the police being called and the lineman being placed in involuntary psychiatric hold. Threatened employees at a funeral home because he reportedly wanted to cut off his dead father's head for research purposes, and cited his failing internal organs as a reason for retirement. And they said that's not including his involvement in the Miami Dolphins' infamous bullying scandal or his generally nasty play on the field. And I'm sure there's probably some more stuff that go on with Richie Incognito, but that's just a hint of what he's done. On and off the field troublemaker. Now, Colin Kaepernick has not done any of the things that Nick Bosa and Richie Incognito has done. Colin Kaepernick is in more physical condition, definitely, than Richie Incognito. He's actually in more physical condition than a lot of the players that they picked up to go over him, as far as not choosing him at all. Now, Nick Bosa, I'm not entirely sure because he just got drafted out of college, so he's young. He's fairly younger than Colin, but he was the #2 draft pick. I don't know what Colin was, to be honest. But the fact of the matter is, Colin Kaepernick was nowhere near as problematic in our eyes. And notice I said in our eyes, compared to these two that I just finished talking about. But by societal standards, by the dominant society standards, Colin Kaepernick was probably one of the worst people on the planet. More than some of these rapists and murderers behind bars. Because he dared kneel during the national anthem. I think they even tried to slightly comfort him. Was it Donald Trump came for them in a Memorial Day tweet talking about kneeling during the national anthem? That was a dig at Colin Kaepernick. He didn't tag him, but we knew who he was talking about. But of course, Donald Trump is going to support anybody that supports him. He loves an ass kisser. That's what he loves to death. So he's going to support Nick Bosa until Nick Bosa does something to piss him off. Then he's going to say, I don't like him anymore. Or he's fake news. Something to that effect. But the fact of the matter is, Nick Bosa and Richie Incognito did all of this stuff. Now, Richie Incognito's, this isn't as bad, but it's the fact that, you know, with him being a Trump supporter and him being a white guy, we're always going to say that they're most likely racist. I'm very certain that he's probably said the N-word a time or two or a dozen in his life. In private or in public. I'm just waiting for the video to drop because I know somebody probably recorded it. And even this, he probably still won't have anything happen to him. But this just shows that the league supports degenerates. I mean, I can go down a laundry list of people who have done some crazy things and still in that damn league. Like Ben Roethlisberger, aka Ben Rapelessberger. How many sexual assault, rape charges has this man had against him? Or not so much charges, but, well, actually you could say charges. Or allegations against him. And Me Too ain't say a damn thing about him. I don't give a damn if Me Too wasn't around as popularity-wise back then. It was around. Tarana Burke, aka KRS 2 Ton, was around back then. She could have said something. What's his name? Is it Nick Brown, the kicker for the Giants? The one who beat his wife's ass while on the phone? And we could hear his kids screaming in the background saying, Daddy, stop hitting mommy. Or what's that? The Steelers player, the one who was saying the N-word all over the place at that festival a few years ago. Still, all of them still had a job. But Nick Brown, he ended up getting removed way after the fact. They tried to rationalize his behavior, even though they had evidence. And then you had that idiot Victor Cruz or Victor Coons try to come to his defense, but had the nerve to say something bad about Colin Kaepernick. But then, of course, you had incidents like what happened with Ray Rice. And you would think that if the league supports quote-unquote degeneracy and what happened with him and his now wife, Janae, that he would still have a job by societal and NFL standards. But he doesn't. He even tried his hardest, worked out and trained and everything, and still could not get a spot back on the team. You had what's his name? The one who disciplined his son. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm kind of bad with names right now, but you know, if I see faces, then Adrian Peterson disciplines his son. They did everything but call CPS, but don't think that they didn't, because he disciplined his son, saying he was abusive. I'm sure some of them said that he was being like Joe Jackson. I'm very sure some people put that out there. I'm almost certain of it. But he was disciplining his son like a father should. But see, that also goes back into that thing where they don't like fathers, especially black fathers, being fathers or involved parents. Now, see, if this was him with his mother, they probably would not have said anything. But they were trying to say he was a bad father and they need to come and take his son away from him. They actually were saying that. They even tried to get him off the team because of it. They tried to get him removed. And don't get me started on Terrell Owens and all the stuff that he was been going through. I would say Reverend Ray, aka Ray Lewis, but that goddamn fake ass preacher got a lot of shit going on in his life. Like, dare I say, that son of his who got hit with them sexual assault charges when he was in college. I ain't forget about that. I guess the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Now, does it, Reverend Ray? Oh, I have a very good memory. I remember doing that video on my original channel. I just forgot his son's name, and I forgot what school it was. I know it was some school in the South, and it was with some white girl. That's all I know. That's all I remember. And he got hit with some charges. That was it. And they pretty much like stayed silent about that ever since. He got his karma indirectly because he was saying some coonish off the wall shit then. And it came back to him through his son. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I think by now y'all pretty much get the picture. I mean, I laid it out right here. I gave a few examples. But the fact of the matter is, Colin Kaepernick got did dirty, real dirty. And we all saw it, whether you want to be naive about it or not. Colin Kaepernick should still have been playing in the NFL right now. Because he's only a year older than me. He's like 31. Or he will be turning 31. But it's the fact of the matter is the NFL showed their ass, and he pretty much exposed them for their wicked ways. And we applaud him for that. That's why a lot of people weren't that quite upset about the settlement that he received, because we found out it was actually lower than what we thought it was, even though it should have been way higher. But the fact of the matter is he won because he exposed the NFL for who they are. And it caused them to lose ratings over the years because of it. They tried to pull out all the stops this year for that Super Bowl that I didn't watch, and I hope y'all didn't watch either, to try to get someone who catered to black people, and they couldn't do it. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.